Gentlemen, forget the money, forget the status, forget trying to be what you think she wants, because at the end of the day there is one feeling every woman truly craves, a feeling that makes her heart race, her guard fall, and her soul connect to yours. That feeling is emotional safety wrapped in masculine certainty. In today's world, where validation is a swipe away and compliments flood inboxes like confetti, being wanted has lost its meaning. A woman who is attractive is used to being desired. Men glance at her, message her, chase her, and shower her with attention. But none of that sticks, none of it goes deep, because what truly captures a woman's heart isn't just being wanted. It's the experience of being chosen, and that's a feeling most men never give her. You see, when a man wants a woman, it's often based on surface-level attraction. Her looks, her body, the way she makes him feel. But when a man chooses her, he sees something more. He sees her essence, her light, her shadow, her chaos and her calm. He chooses her not because she fits into a fantasy, but because she resonates with something real inside of him. And that feeling, the feeling of being deliberately, consciously chosen, is where a woman's emotional walls begin to fall. It's easy to desire a woman. Desire is instinctual, it's reactive. But to choose her, that's intentional. That means you've seen other options. You've seen beauty. You've seen charm. You've tasted what the world has to offer. And still, something about her pulled you in deeper. And when she realizes that your presence in her life isn't random, that you didn't stumble into her world out of boredom or loneliness, but that you looked at her and said, I choose you. Her heart responds in a way no compliment or gift ever could. Because now, she's not just an option, she's not a backup plan, she's not a trophy or a distraction. She becomes something sacred. Women crave this, whether they admit it or not. They want to feel that among all the noise, they stood out not because they shouted louder, dressed better, or played harder to get, but because something in them simply was enough. When a woman feels chosen, she softens. Her defense is lower. She starts giving you the parts of herself no one else gets to see. The vulnerable parts, the nurturing parts, the playful, wild, and unfiltered parts. And it's not because you chased her. It's because you made her feel seen, not just looked at. When you look past the surface and connect with the behind who she is, she starts to trust you in ways that can't be forced or faked. And the truth is, choosing her doesn't mean losing yourself. It doesn't mean becoming overly available or abandoning your purpose. In fact, it means the opposite. It means you're grounded enough in who you are that your choice carries weight. That you don't need to chase 10 women to feel like a man. You know who you are, and because of that, your selection has power. It means she wasn't just picked for pleasure or convenience. She was picked because your soul recognized something worth holding on to. Most men offer attention. Few offer discernment, and women can tell the difference. One fades quickly, the other lingers forever. When you give a woman the feeling of being chosen, not out of desperation, not out of fear of being alone, but out of clarity and strength, you give her the most intoxicating emotional experience she can have. You make her feel rare, and once she feels that way around you, she'll never want to go back to feeling ordinary. There's a reason why some women glow in the presence of certain men. It's not because of his looks, or his wealth, or his words. It's because of the feeling she gets when she's around him. That feeling is safety, but not just physical safety. That's basic. It's emotional safety, psychological safety, a sense of internal peace that allows her to breathe, to open up, and to just be. and that feeling only exists in the presence of a man who is deeply rooted in his masculine frame. Now, let's be clear. Masculine frame has nothing to do with being controlling or dominating. It's not about how loud you speak or how aggressively you carry yourself. It's about your energy your presence. It's the way you hold yourself, the way you respond instead of react, the way your emotions remain grounded even when hers are storming. A woman knows when she's in the presence of a man who is centered. She knows when she can let go, and she knows when she has to armor up, and most of the time she's armoring up because most men are emotionally fragile, inconsistent, or easily swayed by her moods. But the moment she encounters a man who is anchored, everything inside her begins to shift. She doesn't want to lead in your presence. She doesn't want to carry the emotional weight of the relationship. She's been doing that for too long in too many areas of her life. When she's with you, she wants to relax. She wants to soften, but she can only do that if she trusts that you're not going to crumble the second she expresses herself. She needs to feel that you're not easily triggered, not reactive, not defensive when she's emotional or chaotic. She wants to know that when she falls apart, you won't fall apart with her. You'll hold the space, you'll stay calm. You'll be that silent pillar of strength that doesn't waver under pressure. This is what masculine frame gives her, the permission to be feminine. The green light to stop performing, to stop fixing, to stop being hyper, independent. She wants to rest. And if she can rest in your energy, she will start giving you the parts of her soul that only come out in spaces of deep trust. She'll let go of control not because she's weak, but because she feels stronger with you leading, and leading doesn't mean micromanaging. It means being stable, being emotionally available without being emotionally dependent, being direct without being cold, being strong without being harsh. Women test men not because they're trying to be difficult, but because they're trying to find the edges of your emotional strength. They want to know, are you really as solid as you seem? Or are you just pretending? Because the moment she senses that your calm is performative, she'll push, she'll stir, she'll bring out the fire just to see if you'll stay cool. And if you do, if you remain composed, if you listen without flinching, if you stay true to who you are without shrinking or exploding, then she will begin to trust you on a level that few men ever experience. And trust is everything to a woman, not just that you'll be loyal, but that you can handle her truth, her emotions, her intensity, her past, her dreams, her silence, her storms. And this kind of trust can't be built through words. It's built through your energy, through your reactions, through the way you handle disagreement, through how you maintain your peace even when she's in chaos, not by suppressing your emotions, but by mastering them, not by controlling her, but by controlling yourself. A man in his masculine frame doesn't chase validation. He doesn't get rattled by rejection. He's not constantly proving himself. He knows who he is. He has direction, purpose. He's emotionally self-regulated. And that creates an aura of calm that is rare in today's world of overstimulation and emotional volatility. When a woman senses that calm, when she feels that steadiness, she begins to feel safe . And when a woman feels safe, she becomes soft. She becomes loyal, she becomes radiant, she stops playing games, she stops overthinking. She starts trusting her own femininity again because you're not making her carry the masculine energy just to feel secure. She doesn't need to take charge when you're already holding things down. And that is one of the greatest gifts you can give a woman, the ability to return to herself in your presence. Not because you demand it, but because your energy ** invites * it. Most men never reach this level of awareness. They operate from insecurity, ego, or emotional reactivity. They think masculinity is force, when in reality it's stillness, it's clarity, it's being unshakable in the storm of life. And when a woman feels that in you, when she knows she doesn't have to be both the man and the woman in the relationship, she will give you the deepest parts of her heart willingly, freely, and fully, because you're not just a man. You're her sanctuary. There's something incredibly powerful about being understood without having to explain yourself. For a woman, that feeling is rare. She lives in a world that constantly misinterprets her. Her emotions are often labeled as too much, her silence mistaken for disinterest, her strength misread as coldness, and her softness seen as weakness. So when she meets a man who doesn't need a manual to get her, who just gets her, without her having to unpack every layer or justify every reaction, it hits her differently. That feeling goes beyond connection. It creates intimacy, because women communicate on more than just the surface. They speak with their words, yes, but they speak even louder through their tone, their pauses, their energy, their body language. And when a man is truly present, when he's not distracted, not waiting to speak, not just listening for an opening to talk, but really listening, he picks up on all of it. He hears the words she doesn't say. He feels the emotions behind her silence. He notices the shift in her mood before she even acknowledges it herself. That's what makes her feel safe. That's what makes her feel seen. Most men think listening is about hearing the problem and offering a solution. But women aren't looking for someone to fix everything. They're looking for someone who can hold space. Someone who can be there without rushing her, without interrupting her process, without needing her to be more logical or less emotional. She doesn't want to be handled. She wants to be witnessed. To have a man who can sit with her in her truth, whatever that truth is, and not try to change it or minimize it, but simply be present with it. That kind of understanding is rare, and when she feels it, she doesn't forget it. This level of connection requires emotional intelligence. It requires you to be in tune with yourself so that you can be in tune with her. You can't understand someone else deeply if you don't understand your own patterns, your own emotions, your own tendencies. When you're disconnected from yourself, you'll miss the signals she's sending. You'll take things personally, you'll get defensive, you'll shut down or overreact. But when you're grounded, when you're self-aware, you can separate your own stuff from hers. You can be present without projecting. You can listen without needing to control or correct. And this is where real connection happens, when she doesn't have to explain why she's quiet. You just feel it's because something's on her mind. When she's being sarcastic or guarded, and instead of reacting with annoyance, you recognize it's a defense mechanism and approach with softness. When she's struggling to articulate what she feels and you don't rush her, you just stay there with her, patient, calm, creating space for her words to find their way. In those moments, she realizes, this man understands me. He sees past the performance, past the mask, past the habitual responses, and he connects with what's underneath, and that, more than anything, makes a woman feel emotionally safe. It's not the grand gestures, it's not the perfect lines, it's the small, quiet moments when she feels like she doesn't have to fight to be understood. She doesn't have to scream to be heard. She doesn't have to defend her emotions or prove her worth. She can just be. And you still choose to stay. You still see her as beautiful, valuable, worthwhile, even when she's messy, even when she's confused, even when she's not at her best. Understanding her without explanation doesn't mean reading her mind. It means being attuned to her energy, paying attention to the patterns, remembering what matters to her, noticing what makes her shut down or light up, being curious about her inner world, not just her outer appearance. And it's not about agreeing with everything she says. It's about letting her know that even if you don't fully understand, you care enough to try. You care enough to listen with your heart, not just your ears. You care enough to show up. When a woman experiences this kind of understanding from a man, it creates a depth of emotional intimacy that is hard to describe. She no longer feels like she has to armor up. She stops filtering her truth. She starts sharing more, trusting more, loving more openly, because you've given her a rare gift, the ability to feel fully seen and accepted. And when that happens, she doesn't just bond with you. She attaches to you on a soul level. Not because you solved her problems, but because you made her feel like she was never a problem to begin with. There's something deeply magnetic about a man who doesn't reveal everything at once. In a world where oversharing has become the norm and attention is cheap, the man who carries himself with mystery, who has layers that unfold slowly with depth and intention, stands out. Not because he's playing games, but because there's always something more to discover about him. And women love that feeling. They love the emotional and psychological stimulation of peeling back the layers of a man who remains grounded, yet slightly out of reach. It keeps them intrigued, invested, and drawn in. See, most men think that being open and expressive means giving everything up front. They think that vulnerability means telling their whole life story on the second date, or constantly affirming their feelings out of fear of losing her. But that's not mystery. That's emotional dumping. And the truth is, what keeps a woman interested is not just what she knows. It's what she doesn't know yet. It's the curiosity, the pull, the slow unfolding of who you are. It's that feeling of constantly discovering something new in you. That's what captivates her imagination and secures her emotional investment. Mystery doesn't mean being distant or emotionally unavailable. It means being intentional with what you reveal and when. It means understanding that your story is valuable and it deserves to be shared with someone who's earned deeper access. When you have strong boundaries, a clear sense of identity, and a rich inner world, you naturally become more mysterious, because you're not trying to be understood by everyone. You're not broadcasting your entire life. You're selective, and that selectiveness creates intrigue. When a woman feels like there are still parts of you she hasn't fully uncovered, she stays engaged. She pays attention. She becomes curious. That curiosity is emotional fuel. It drives her to get closer, to invest, to show up more consistently. It creates anticipation, which is one of the strongest psychological drivers of attachment. Anticipation is what makes her wonder what's going on behind your eyes when you're quiet. It's what makes her lean in when you speak with calm certainty, but don't overshare. It's what makes her think about you long after the conversation ends, because she knows she's only touched the surface of who you are. And here's the truth. Women get bored easily when there's no challenge, no depth, no adventure in discovery. When a man puts everything out there immediately, she may feel temporarily flattered, but long-term, she begins to lose interest. Not because you're unworthy, but because you left nothing for her to explore. There was no process, no tension, no sense of what's next. A woman's desire is fueled by emotional exploration. She wants to feel like she's peeling back the layers of a man whose identity isn't defined by her, but revealed in stages through experience, trust, and shared moments. That doesn't mean you should be cold, mysterious for the sake of it, or manipulative. It means that your life, your past, your passions, your emotions, they are not things you just throw around loosely. You hold them with intention. You know your value, and you allow others to experience that value gradually. You lead with presence, not performance. You listen more than you speak. You let silence be powerful. You let your actions do more talking than your words. A woman finds herself emotionally drawn to the man she cannot fully figure out. The man who can be tender without being predictable, honest without being overly accessible, confident without needing to constantly prove it. She wants to see the deeper parts of you, but she wants to earn them. She wants to feel like she's unlocking parts of you that no one else gets to see. That's what creates emotional intimacy. That's what makes her feel special. It's not that you're hiding. It's that you're reserved asterisk. There's a difference, and when you have that balance, being open enough to connect, but reserved enough to remain intriguing, you give her the emotional thrill that so many women silently crave. It becomes less about what you give her materially or physically and more about what you offer emotionally. A dynamic experience, a slow, burn connection, a relationship that feels like a journey rather than a transaction. Mystery also means you're not overly predictable. You're consistent in character, yes, but you're not repetitive in expression. You grow, you evolve. You have passions, goals, and experiences that aren't solely centered around her. She doesn't know what's coming next from you, but she knows it will be authentic. That mix of unpredictability and integrity is what keeps her coming back. It's not drama, it's depth. When she feels like being around you is a journey of unfolding discovery, she becomes emotionally invested, not because you manipulated her, but because you gave her the experience every woman wants but few ever receive, the adventure of slowly earning access to a man whose inner world is rich, grounded, and still unfolding. When a woman feels truly appreciated, not just for her looks, her body, or what she can do for you, but for her essence, her presence, her femininity, it touches something deep in her spirit. Appreciation is more than compliments. It's more than saying you're beautiful or I love you. It's about making her feel valued in the quiet moments, in the small gestures, in the way you respond to who she is when she's not trying to impress you. It's about recognizing the emotional, mental, and spiritual energy she brings into your life and reflecting that value back to her in ways that feel sincere and grounded. Most men operate from a place of taking for granted, not because they're bad people, but because they're not paying attention. They see what a woman does how she nurtures, supports, listens, and loves, but they forget to honor it. And over time, a woman who is not appreciated becomes emotionally starved. She begins to withdraw. She becomes colder, more distant, less open, not because she stopped caring, but because she no longer feels seen. And the truth is, a woman needs to feel your appreciation. Not just hear it, not just receive it on birthdays or holidays, but sense it in the way you look at her, the way you talk to her, the way you treat her when no one is watching. Appreciation, when done right, is active. It's a form of presence. It's you noticing when she's had a hard day and choosing to be gentle with her spirit instead of making it about your own needs. It's you recognizing that her softness isn't something to be exploited. It's something to be protected. It's you showing up for her not just when she's glowing and happy, but when she's insecure, uncertain, or in pain. That's when your appreciation matters most, not when she's easy to love, but when she's showing the parts of herself that she normally hides from the world. And here's the thing, a woman can sense when you're being performative. She knows when your praise is just part of a routine or an attempt to get something in return. Real appreciation has depth. It's in the details. It's in remembering the way she likes her coffee, the songs she listens to when she's sad, the way her eyes light up when she talks about something she's passionate about. It's in validating her dreams, encouraging her talents, and celebrating her growth, even when it has nothing to do with you. When she feels appreciated on that level, she doesn't just feel loved. She feels respected, and that's a whole different level of emotional impact. Appreciation also means that you speak life into her, that you don't just focus on what she lacks or what she needs to improve, but you actively reflect back to her the beauty you see in her spirit. You acknowledge her strengths. You affirm her efforts. You let her know consistently that you see her, and that what she brings into your life is not just noticed, but cherished, that her existence in your world makes things better, and when a woman feels that from a man, she begins to flourish. She softens. She opens up. She becomes more affectionate, more nurturing, more vibrant, because appreciation breathes life into the feminine. This is not about idolizing her or putting her on a pedestal. It's about emotional generosity. It's about being a mirror that reflects her value in a world that often ignores or dismisses it. And it's about understanding that women often give quietly. They express love in subtle, nuanced ways, through acts of care, emotional labor, attentiveness. If you're not present, you'll miss it. You'll think everything is fine until one day she's emotionally checked out and you won't know why. But if you've been appreciating her, truly appreciating her, she won't just stay, she'll invest. She'll give more. Because she knows she's giving to someone who doesn't see her love as a convenience, but as a gift. And sometimes the most powerful appreciation is nonverbal. It's in the way you listen to her without checking your phone, the way you hold her after a long day without trying to fix her feelings, the way you touch her with intention, not entitlement, the way you support her when she doubts herself, the way you make her feel like even on her worst day, she is still a woman worth loving, worth fighting for, worth showing up for. That's the kind of appreciation that changes a woman. It reaches into the parts of her heart that have been neglected or dismissed, and it says, I see you, I value you, you matter. When you make appreciation a way of being rather than a strategy, everything changes. It's not just about maintaining a relationship. It's about deepening the bond, creating a connection where she doesn't feel like she has to earn your affection every day, because she already feels secure in your presence. She knows you're not taking her for granted. She feels safe giving more of herself because she trusts that her efforts are not invisible. They're being seen, felt, loved, and in return, she will give you a version of herself that is rare, raw, and real, because appreciation doesn't just make her feel loved, it makes her feel home. There's an undeniable power in emotional safety, a kind of energy that makes a woman feel like she can finally exhale. It's more than just being kind or polite. It's the deep, unspoken assurance that she won't be judged, criticized, or punished for expressing her full self. When a woman feels emotionally safe with a man, she transforms. She becomes softer, more vulnerable, more affectionate, because she's no longer guarding herself against potential hurt. And this isn't about perfection. It's not about having all the right answers or reacting flawlessly every time. It's about consistency, emotional maturity, and the ability to hold space for her truth, even when it's messy, complicated, or different from your own. Many men underestimate how guarded a woman can be, especially if life has taught her that love often comes with conditions. She may look confident, composed, even carefree on the surface, but underneath she's scanning for signs of safety. Can I trust this man with my heart? Can I show him my fears without being ridiculed? Can I be vulnerable without it being used against me later? And when the answer is yes, when a man consistently proves that her emotions will be met with presence instead of punishment, with understanding instead of control, something remarkable happens. Her defenses start to fall away. She begins to bloom not because she has to, but because she wants to. Emotional safety is created in how you respond to her, especially in her moments of insecurity or emotional volatility. When she's upset and you don't dismiss her or minimize her experience, she feels seen. When she's quiet and you don't pressure her to talk but remain gently available, she feels held. When she opens up about something that makes her feel ashamed, and you meet her with compassion instead of judgment, she feels understood. These aren't dramatic gestures. They are small, consistent acts of emotional intelligence that build trust over time. They tell her, you don't have to be perfect here, you don't have to pretend. And the truth is, emotional safety begins with with how you regulate your own emotions. If you're reactive, unpredictable, or emotionally unavailable, she won't feel safe, no matter how much you say you care. But if you are grounded, emotionally present, and self-aware, you create a calm center that she can lean into. You become the emotional anchor, not by fixing her feelings, but by holding steady when she's overwhelmed. You show her, through your energy, that she doesn't have to carry the full emotional load on her own. One of the most powerful ways to build this safety is through emotional honesty. When you're transparent about your own feelings, not in a way that demands her to fix you, but in a way that models vulnerability, you give her permission to do the same. If you can say, I felt hurt when that happened, but I'm working through it. Or, I don't have all the answers, but I want to understand. You create a dynamic where honesty isn't feared, it's welcomed. That kind of emotional openness isn't weakness, it's strength. It says, I'm strong enough to feel, and strong enough to let you feel, too. Physical presence plays a role as well. A reassuring touch, steady eye contact, a calm tone when things get tense. These things matter more than most people realize. They send subtle signals to her nervous system. I'm here. I'm not going to lash out. I'm not going to abandon you. And when those signals are consistent, she starts to feel safe even when you're not around. That's when real trust is built, not just based on what you say, but on how you make her feel over time. Emotional safety also includes respecting her boundaries without making her feel guilty. When she says no, you don't take it personally or try to push past it. When she needs space, you give it without becoming cold or passive-aggressive. That kind of respect is rare, and when a woman experiences it, it tells her she can trust you not just with her body or time, but with her soul. That you're not going to punish her for having limits. That you're not threatened by her independence. That your connection with her isn't based on control or compliance, but mutual respect and understanding. And perhaps most importantly, emotional safety is created when she knows that conflict doesn't equal rejection. That you're not going to emotionally disappear the moment things get hard. That you won't use her vulnerability as a weapon during arguments. That you won't weaponize silence, guilt, or manipulation. Instead, you remain open, willing to listen, willing to repair. That doesn't mean you avoid disagreement. It means you handle disagreement in a way that honors the relationship, not just your ego. A woman who feels emotionally safe with you will love you in ways you've never experienced. She'll open her heart, her body, her mind in ways that aren't possible when she's guarded. She'll share her dreams, her fears, her wildest ideas, not because you demanded access, but because you earned her trust. She'll feel free to be both strong and soft, independent and deeply connected, and it won't feel like work to love her. It will feel like a gift, because she's finally in an environment where love isn't survival, it's expression. It's nourishment, it's home. When you give a woman these feelings, emotional safety, deep appreciation, mystery, admiration, and the experience of being truly seen, you don't just win her attention, you earn her devotion. You awaken something powerful in her that longs to love fully, freely, and fearlessly. Because when a woman feels secure in your presence, when she feels valued not just for what she does, but for who she is, she doesn't just stick around, she thrives. And in return, she gives you the rarest, most beautiful gift a man can receive, the heart of a woman who feels safe enough to love without holding back. That's when love becomes something more than chemistry or attraction. It becomes legacy, something lasting, something real.